that we've had more local entrepreneurs join us. It is an amazing opportunity for you to meet people from all over Africa. We've got people from so many different countries here, and we've got a lot of people globally who are here. So yes, today is about listening and learning, but it's about meeting people. So I have a challenge. When we have lunch, and throughout the rest of the day, if you are not from Ethiopia, you must go and make sure you meet at least 5 locals from this area and chat to them, right? And I'll be testing you, right? We all agree? And you have to meet at least 5 people you don't know. Great. Let's get going. Okay, we've spoken a lot about various parts of what it takes to run a startup. But what about when you want to grow it? When you are planning to start your business, you shouldn't think small. You should dream big. Africans need to dream bigger. That is a large part of the problem, is we're not thinking big enough, right? So I've got some panelists here today who have successfully managed to scale into other African markets and some into international markets. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. Just very briefly, who you are, where you're from. Jonathan, you first.
Hi, my name is Jonathan from South Korea. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Durango Incorporated. I'm doing business in Korea and Kenya. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. My name is Samuel. I'm based here. I'm Ethiopian. I'm working with the UN International Trade Center. Our office is based in Switzerland, Geneva, but I'm based here in Addis. So what we do basically is we help businesses, SMEs, to go international.
Hi everyone, my name is Ryan Ricketts. I'm the CEO and founder of My One Health, based in Kenya.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Macleod. I'm from Addis, and I'm also a summer camp participant. I'm very happy to be here. I represent TRIPS. It's a global African-based startup, mobility startup, and I'm very excited to be here.
Fantastic. Right, I'm going to start with you, Ryan. So Ryan was the winner of he's the African winner last year of the Global Startup Awards Health Tech Stream. And we've been walking a journey with Ryan around how he's grown and how you've grown just since winning the award last year. Very much due to your team and your vision. I would love it if you could actually just share your journey, in terms of starting off in Kenya, the markets you're scaling into. I think you're a fascinating business, as Samuel pointed out, that you're not just scaling into African markets, but international ones. And some are really tough and some are tough for different reasons. So I would love to hear your story. I would also like to pause for a minute and congratulate you for scaling and opening up recently in South Sudan. Well done. Okay. Round of applause getting medical services in South Sudan.
So again, my name is Ryan Ricketts, the CEO of My One Health. So at My One Health, we're a leading international medical facilitator where we assist patients to visit specialists around the world, so across Africa and around the world. So we assist patients to go see a urologist all the way to going to get very complex medical treatment from like bone marrow transplant, liver transplant, kidney transplant, complex oncology treatment, neurosurgery, spine surgery, and everything in between. So we started off in Kenya in 2018. Since then, we've grown quite quickly, and as a tech-enabled platform, we do assist patients from pretty much all around the world. So our main markets are in Africa, so Kenya, Nigeria is a main market. We assist quite a lot of patients from Ethiopia every month, South Sudan. We assist our 2 largest markets outside of Africa is the Middle East and South Asia. So our journey from getting there is really building up a network of leading hospitals around the world. So we work with over 100 leading hospitals across Africa and internationally. And we just want to make it really easy for patients to access specialized healthcare services when they do need to find a specialist. We do in-person medical visits, we do online telemedicine consultations with specialists around the world, and we also do remote second medical opinions. It has been a journey. I'd say that you know, when we did start in Kenya, we really followed the data. So we did find that a lot of patients were coming to our online platform from different countries across Africa and very surprisingly across the world. And so we really followed that data to try and figure out which markets are patients wanting our assistance to access specialized healthcare services. And that really led us to identify obviously some key markets even outside of Africa. We were called My Health Africa up until last year. We rebranded to My One Health just because we started seeing a lot of patients outside of Africa wanting to use our platform. So we had patients from Bangladesh, from across the Middle East, even patients from the UK and from East Asia coming to our platform through My Health Africa, booking healthcare specialists through our platform across the world. And so that really now led us to follow that data and try and figure out which are some international markets which we should expand to based on the patients approaching us.
Ryan, I want to ask a follow-up question. And actually, we realized in our prep that Samuel should have been the moderator with your great questions. But Samuel raised a point saying, oftentimes startups are advised to go into markets that are similar to them because you want to have replicable models. But Africa is so diverse, and you're scaling not only just into African markets, but international markets. How does that work for you? Because they all have different regulations and contexts and nuances.
Yeah, absolutely. So with an online platform, you know, again, patients approach us, but when we do want to really double down and focus on a market, you know, we have a few different ways that we can expand into that country. I think number one is, you know, we can hire independent contractors or staff members. You can use platforms like Deal, WorkPay to, you know, be compliant with local labor laws and hiring people in those different markets. In addition to that, we've, in South Sudan where we expanded, we've done a joint venture with a local doctor. Obviously they know the market much better than us, so that's a really good way to expand to different markets much quicker. By doing joint ventures, we bring the expertise, we bring the international network of hospitals, and obviously some capital, and then we can expand much quicker. And obviously for markets that we really feel are you know, quite a high priority for us, we'll do it ourselves. And then it's all about just building a great team that knows the market, and they're able to help us grow much quicker in those countries.
So I love this comment, because the takeaway is, as you move to other countries, outside of compliance and regulation, you need to partner with locals who know the market. And that's why opportunities like the Global Startup Awards Africa event here, the summit, is critical. You have to build relationships here. These are the people that will help you scale into other markets. Now, talking about that, TREEPS. It is fantastic to have you here, Maklet, because TREEPS was a winner in 2022 of the Global Startup Awards Africa Mobility category, and they've expanded rapidly over the last year, and interestingly enough, have formed a partnership with you, and you've joined the team as a local Ethiopian that will be expanding TREEPS into the country. I'd love to hear your journey and where TREEPS is.
Definitely. Can you hear me? I'm going to give you a bit of my background. I started in tourism. I worked in tourism for several years. And that gave me an opportunity to pinpoint some of the problems that happen in the travel sector. In 2020, when COVID hits the world, it gave me a chance to pull back and tackle some of the problems that are observed in the travel sector using technology as an edge. So I found up a company named Afro Ticket, which is a digital aggregator of bus aggregator, and I started working on the Afro Ticket. And after that, establishing Afro Ticket gave us a chance to be visible in the global market and in African market startup world. So at the same time, in 2021, TREEPS was doing amazing things across Africa. TREEPS was winning awards in several countries and also acquired Tabas in Ghana, as well as it was expanding to Uganda. Being both startups, TREEPS and AfroTicket, were doing amazing things in their own respective environment, which gave us media visibility and which finally led us to connect and to collaborate. So that's how it started. The relationship with TREEPS started over a year ago, and we built a good relationship. And finally, I'm very happy to announce that Afroticket is currently an official partner of TRIPS, and that's how it started. So we have been through a very good business relationship since then. Yeah.
So today marks the day, officially the day that TRIPS has expanded into Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. So Jonathan, I'd like to come to you because there are different ways to build companies. We always talk about do you build, do you borrow, do you buy? And I think in the startup space, it's really important that Africans understand there's some things we should build from scratch, and that's about technology, but there's a huge opportunity to say, you guys in Korea are building amazing stuff. How do you bring it here? How do you partner? How do we create ownership in that and take that to the next level to applying it to local markets? So I would love to hear your journey. How did you end up in Africa and having a partnership in Kenya?
Oh yeah. Yeah, let me briefly explain about my background first. As mentioned, I'm a CEO and co-founder of Durango. Durango actually aims building the companies together with the local entrepreneurs by sharing the technologies and know-hows and experience of South Korea into the developing countries. Before starting the Durango, I used to work in Korean, Indian fintech company, which is providing the fintech solutions like e-commerce, micro-insurance to the people in the rural areas in India. And I'm also a part of an NGO which is nurturing the entrepreneurs in developing countries. And dreaming globally, together with the local entrepreneurs, solving the local problems together, has been my long-standing mission. And regarding the journey, what I have always thought that is, when it comes to local problems, it should be solved by the local people. That is because it is not foreigners who love the people in your nations. It should be the local people who really understand the problem of the people, who know the culture and the customs. So even though the foreign companies with the good strategies and good technologies, you always need a local partner who can provide the insights of the customers. But however, in the other hand, what foreigners can contribute is we have a good mindset that we are seeing the problems, the local problems, without biases. For example, when we were doing the business in Kenya, we are actually connecting the farmers. We are building the agricultural platform which is connecting farmers to the retail market in Nairobi. When we started the business, one of the key things that we had was selling the agricultural product of the farmers even before they harvest to the retailers in Nairobi, and getting a deposit and getting a money from the retailers. When we started the business, all of my Kenyan friends said that, oh, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work because Kenyans doesn't do it in that way. But as a foreigner who has already experienced the similar problems in Korea, we thought that yes, we can do that, why we don't need to try it out? And when we tried it out and we did experiment, it worked. So what I try to say is, it is the local problem, and it is the local people who understand the problems well, but it is always the foreigners who can provide the unbiased perspective of the local problems and actually contribute in providing the experiences. For example, Korea, we have already experienced the economic development, social development, and we have already tackled those kind of problems, and we already have a technology that can tackle the problems. So by transferring the knowledge and know-hows and experiences to the local entrepreneurs, we are contributing in solving the local problems.
Thank you, Jonathan. I really appreciate that. And I want to pick up on something you said. When you said, as foreigners partnering with an African entrepreneur, we can provide an unbiased perspective. And that's very interesting, because I think that's what's important about bringing thinking together that is not in your space, so that you can think differently and more broadly. So thank you. And thank you for the work that the Korean African Foundation, they brought over you and some of your peers. So please make sure there are, how many are you here from Korea?
Oh, I
6?
think there are 4 companies.
4 companies.
No, 5 companies including us.
Okay, fantastic. So there are 5 Korean companies here if you want to pick their brains and connect to them. Right. Samuel, you're on the ground. You are taking delegations across borders to expose them to other markets. Tell me about your experience. What are the barriers? What's the opportunities?
Okay. Just because you know what we do, let me just give a little bit of highlight of what our project specifically to the Netherlands Trust Fund that we're currently implementing in 6 African countries, including Ethiopia. So we basically help IT and outsourcing companies as well as tech startups in expanding to regional markets and international. The way we do that is first, any company that comes to us in categories to the above that I mentioned, we assess their maturity. So we make sure that we're targeting the mature ones that are ready to explore their services, because not every company is ready to expand, right? So some companies in terms of their maturity are made to function in the local market, and there are companies that are ready to exporting their services. So we identify those companies in categories that we do, one for the local sales, one for the internationals. And the way we help the companies is basically, first is the capacity building. So capacity building, for example, we help the IT video companies. Some of the companies are which are that I can see from here is to build export marketing strategy. So the export marketing strategy is basically the strategy behind the company's expansion to the international market. So we bring in international consultants and local consultants to basically work with the companies in building that strategy. So they identify a market, they identify a country, they identify their service that they will be expanding, because not every service that they're doing is meant to be exported, right? So they basically develop that, and the next thing that we do is find them, for example, international trade fairs. So international trade fairs is one of the main marketing tool for this company to find clients and partners into that market. So we find different international trade fairs and we bring in that delegation to that event, and for them to have a booth, expo, participate in everything. We just got back from GITEX, which is one of the largest tech events that happens in Dubai. They did it in Morocco as well, GITEX Africa. So we took 5 companies, 3 from Uganda and 4 from Ethiopia, so that would be 7 companies from the 2 countries, and they had a booth, and we had they were having a panel discussion. Basically, the main target is for them to find clients and partners from there, and which they actually did. So that's the outcome that we had from GITEX. So we kind of do this kind of international trade fairs, and besides that, we do this B2B mission, right? So after a couple of weeks of November, we're going to be going to Kenya with a delegation of 8 Ethiopian companies. So this 9 Ethiopian companies, so I'm really bad with numbers. 9 Ethiopian companies to Kenya. So that's not international trade fair. That's like B2B business mission. So we already have a consultant that is working based in Kenya that would find them partners, clients, already sales meetings. They would just go there, have back-to-back different meetings, visit places, and so on. So that kind of support that we provide. So this is what we basically do in terms of under the framework of.
And then send it back to challenge you quickly. One barrier, one opportunity.
Great. I mean, the opportunity is really huge, right? So especially if we talk about the Ethiopian context, we need Forex. Forex is a huge gap here, and expanding to international markets. Forex is the biggest, one of the main, I would say, opportunities that we have. Aside that, I think employment, because there's a severe unemployment here in Ethiopia. So finding a big client outside of Ethiopia that can give you their one of their projects, you can hire hundreds of young talents here. And to be honest, we are a little bit attractive in terms of finding good clients outside of Ethiopia. We have a talent pool, good talent pool, our time zone, our language. We position ourselves a little bit more attractive. And when it comes to challenges, I mean, I can name a list of challenges that we have. But let me start with the mindset, right? So the mindset of expanding to international market. So a lot of companies, especially here in Ethiopia, into our context, we kind of label ourselves just for the local market. And when you ask them why not go to the Kenyan market or Nigerian market, we would definitely be like, maybe just, this is 120 million population and everything. And we should not really relate, of course, marketing population is related, but not necessarily, right? Having 120 million people doesn't necessarily mean a market opportunity, right? So if you don't have the population that doesn't have a smartphone, you cannot build an app and say I have 120 million market. So the mindset is the first one. The mindset is not only in terms of market, but also expanding to African markets. When a company says something like export, they will immediately think outside of Africa, which is also another challenge. Right? So I can we have a few of challenges.
I think we need to run a workshop. Yes, I think that's a great idea. So I want to pick up on that. I think the mindset is important. You know, we started off by saying we should all challenge ourselves as Africans. I'm from South Africa, just in case you're wondering. To think bigger, and to think with the globe in mind. And I agree that not every product is exportable. So don't force it if it's not exportable. But you should think bigger, and it's this mindset shift we need. The shift that you can partner with a local Ethiopian partner, that you can work with a Korean technology company, that you can travel with partners who could take you places. So thank you for that insight. I'm going to ask two very quick questions. We don't have much time. Jonathan, it's interesting, you have an interesting journey because you've worked in India, Korea, Africa, like you've got a real global perspective. What is your advice to the African entrepreneur looking to have an international partnership or scale?
If I share briefly, I would like to say, think big, but start small and go deep. Which means that I do believe that if you dream about becoming a global company, the day will come. If don't restrict yourself in the internal market. Always think about you are the entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurship is all about filling the needs of other people, loving the people. If you really know how to deal with the people, if you really know how to filling the needs of your own people, then you also know how to serve the people in the globally too. So never lose hope and think globally. But always you should start small, right? Always expose yourself to the global context. I believe that this is a great opportunity that you can meet people from all over the world. So don't just sit down there and just meeting, sharing your information, share your dreams. And I always say you need to go deep, which means that if you see any people that you can share your vision, like-minded people, right? Not just a business partner, become a friend. By becoming a friend, if you are thinking about entering into the country that you don't know at all and don't have any friends, it's a fear. It's a tiresome. But if you're thinking about going to the country that you have a lot of friends, and the friend is already a great entrepreneur who knows about technology and their people, then I do believe that international expansion is not just fear, but it will be more exciting adventure. So what I'd like to say is, dream big, dream globally, but start small and go deep.
I love that. That's great. That is great. So just your advice there, to dream big, make friends, have an exciting journey, but start small. Because if you know your people and you've built a really good local business, the world will come. That's great. Ryan, maybe just closing thoughts from you. You know, what's your advice to the entrepreneur out there? You're in the arena. You're doing this every day. What is your advice?
I think pick one big problem and tackle that. Because I think the entrepreneur's dilemma is that we always go after too many things. And so you can pick a number of different things and do that locally, or you can pick one big thing and do that globally.
That's really, really good advice. Thank you very much. To everyone here today, on Friday, there will be workshops being held at the new ALX hub in Ethiopia, and it's open to startups. So just sharing that to put on your radar. But to our panelists here today, thank you very much. It's been an excellent conversation. Thank you.